We'll start this off with a nice cleansing. Today I'm sharing a little bit more of a personal story, a personal anecdote, if you will, about experience I had in meditation and meeting my guardian angel. So first and foremost, I had these experiences through a guided meditation by Hija Del Sol Tarot, and Kaitlyn, the practitioner who runs Hija Del Sol, absolutely, I just love and cherish so much. So this is like partially my experience with my guardian angel and partially my open love letter to Kaitlyn, because like, shout out to them, shout out to you, thank you so much. This has been a lot, and I get a lot from their content, their guided meditations, their workshops. They're all powerful, and I haven't personally gotten a reading with them yet, but I highly recommend any and all of their services. The reason I started doing guided meditations at all was because I have a really hard time focusing and meditating just like by sitting down or something like that. So I'll normally search YouTube for guided meditations, and I got really tired of going through really shitty, sucky ones that were just stupid and dumb, or overly gendered, or just like ridiculously phrased to the point where I was like, I don't give a shit about any of this. This all sounds like bullshit garbage. One of my friends had persistently recommended Kaitlyn. At a certain point, I was like, fine, I'll go and join. I have no idea why I was so reluctant, because even the very first spiritual maintenance I did, fucking, that's it, amazing, wonderful. Fucking genuinely has given me so much to meditate on and has improved me and my life and spiritual practices so much. Even just like watching Kaitlyn read here on their YouTube channel, moonshadowsnetwork.com, that's also plugged down below. Even just watching Kaitlyn read has been so reaffirming for me personally. It's kind of a funny thing to say, but I didn't know the rules of like reading and like channeling, I guess, which sounds really silly, and let's not dive into it. But I was like watching Kaitlyn read and realizing that like, oh, it's okay to just like let things happen, because like they are a physical medium and they physically channel, and so sometimes you could like hear them repeat the things that they just heard over again, which is like something that happens to me and something that I had been actively fighting against. But watching them do it and provide these like incredible readings without mincing words or like feeling insecure about like, I don't know, a twitch or something else, was like, oh, thank God, I can do that. Okay, you don't have to be scared. Like, you don't have to filter yourself so hard. So the guardian angel meditation that I'm going to talk about is from a workshop that I did that was, I think, called Meeting Your Guardian Angel. And I'm not going to share too much of what that was like, because I genuinely think that you should go and like pay for the workshop and get that yourself, because they deserve to be paid for their work. And every meditation that I've done with Kaitlyn has been amazing. So let me stop fan bitching. I didn't want to like hard gender that, so I decided a gender neutral bitch was appropriate. Okay, and I'm doing this based off like some notes and trying to nitpick where I'm sharing and where I'm keeping private, so bear with me a little bit. Please excuse all the hard cuts in between my storytelling. Like that was cut. So, first of all, I joined this live chat, and the song that's playing is a Brenton Wood song. And I'm sitting here like, oh hell no, because that song just reminds me of my family and like family parties and things like that. So I was immediately like, damn, ancestors are really strong tonight. Whoops. And so that immediately started it out, and that's how I knew it was going to be some shit. Through the guided meditation, you're taken through a series of steps and prompted to visualize different aspects, and they all put together to help you have like this whole experience, right? I'm not giving away the whole thing, but there's a part where you're asked to describe a large set of doors. in color, what is on them, how are they shaped. And for me, they were like chocolate bar doors, if that makes sense. But they looked like the squares on a chocolate bar, but they were all gold. Weird shit. And now that I just got that now. Sorry, we'll get to why like this chocolate cacao plant thing is significant when I tell you about my guardian angel. And for this one, I like was really confused and was having a really, really hard time connecting and feeling connected and feeling present. And for whatever reason, everything was just bothering me that day. My back pain was fucking out of control. I literally wrote down everything that was bothering me. My backpack, or my back hurt. My grandma called at the time. Like, I was having a hard time. I was distracted by my pain, and it was a lot. So I was having a hard time connecting. And so a lot of the visions I got were either like not super informative or genuinely kind of fuzzy. And that's fully on me. And it was really a lesson of like, if you are not in a place to do this meditation, then like, I don't know, man, you're gonna get a different result. So maybe take a minute to like ground and center and be present. Oh, and I could have just not been stubborn and could have stretched or something, but you know what? I digress. I'm getting in the weeds here. And later on in the meditation, you're asked to describe a temple or a sanctuary of some kind. And for some reason, my entire, like, the world that I was in almost, or the place I was in, was like Candyland, and everything was made of like this gummy candy for some reason, and it was very weird. I did not understand that at all. You're eventually led to speak to your guardian angel and to meet them and to see them, and they enter your temple, which I love the intention that Kaitlyn puts into these, because your guardian, you don't go to meet your guardian angel. Your guardian angel is given consent to come and meet you, and I think that is so important, and that's such a good distinction, so like shout out. And I end up seeing like my guardian angel, and this motherfucker is a pine tree, and I was like, okay. Like, that's pretty in character, and I really, really do love pine. In fact, there is a fucking pine tree at my mom's house that I really want to go meet, or not meet, but go hang out with, because I've known it for my whole life, and I've just been like sitting here reminiscing about the fucking pine tree, and like, fuck you, quarantine. I don't want to see any people, but I want to see that damn pine tree. Needless to say, pine is important. I'm literally burning it right now, so I'm not surprised. My favorite smell is probably pine resin. Which is actually something my guardian angel requested at this time. And I now realize the like reason I was seeing pine is because, first of all, pine is incredibly protective. So that's an amazing guardian angel or a guardian spirit to have regardless. But it is more of a symbol, I think. And just kind of the nature and the connecting dot, I would say, between me and my guardian angel. There is actually a pine tree at my house, or in my home, outside my home, that I will go and sit by and meditate with. I will go and meditate at this pine tree, and that is what was being encouraged through the meditation as well. Like, the pine tree is the connection, so like, go to the pine. And that really was like all I got out from this. I asked for a couple names, and they were just like random ass names that I still don't fully understand, one of which was Retcon. So with this workshop, you actually get the opportunity to revisit the workshop at any time. And my goal was to do it for like 7 days in a row, but in true me fashion, I did it twice. But the second time, I really got everything I needed out of it. The second time, I did it on like a full moon, and I cleaned the altars, and I just sat in front of them and was really vibing, and it was immediately such a different connection. And I was like, okay, I get it. This was the time I was supposed to do it. Got you. And for this one, shit got really real. And it felt like literally like with the gummy temple and like the gummy city and the shit that I was in last time, they were literally sugarcoating it. with like literal sugar. And this time was much more real. And I was like, ooh, thank you. And so I get there, and my temple is like a Mesoamerican Mexica style temple, or a Mexica era temple, which like makes sense. And my guide was actually already there. In retrospect, I think it's because I had already been giving them consent to be present with me, and was already like working with them and like praying to them and praying with them throughout the day. So it's like, well, I'm here, dude. What's up? But my guide was actually a priest in a very specific kind of headdress. I'm not gonna share it. I asked how he was related to Pine, and somehow turned into a hooded figure, and then into this like pilgrim, and then he turned into a farmer in like a pueblo, and then he became a hawk. So I was like, okay, what is this? And that to me is a reflection of like my ancestral migration pattern, and is literally like moving through and elevating up. Which this is also reinforced with like the literal words of like, I am the way of your grandmother. I end up going and flying around with the dude. I ended up researching hawks and pine trees and like their relationship, and the pine tree is literally one of the most popular nesting areas for hawks. And I'm like, so it's literally the connection with the hawk sitting in the top of the branches and me sitting at the base of the tree. The pine tree is literally the connection. Damn. And then he gave me a conch, which also makes sense, like, ancestrally, geographically. And then, like, specified the combination of sacred air and water. I also lied. I did this 3 times, and the 3rd time is the one I got confused with. So the 3rd time I did this meditation, the temple was the same, the priest was the same, but at some point he showed me that he was actually practicing, and he showed me a vision of essentially this lifetime he experienced, where he was doing like marriage and grief counseling, and he showed me like the place that he was sitting and like the practica that he had set up to like speak with these clients, and he showed me like the basins of water and fresh herbs and copal burning on coals, and then like a fire space. And he like let me watch him work, like I was shadowing him, like I was literally learning how to do the job. And he was sitting here like talking to people and talking to them, and then he did a limpia on both of them, which was wild. Before this actually happened, he and I were in like my temple space. Before I actually got to see him in like his regalia, or I guess we'll say, I had to be cleansed and purified. So these like 4 smaller entities that all looked like almost like imps with like these really big wooden masks on came and each passed me over with a different element. Like one poured water over me, another one blew smoke over me, another one rubbed me with the flowers, and then another one did something else, or I think a fire limpia. And they like each passed me around in these like 4 circles, and like it was wild. And then after that, my guardian angel came forward and was like, "What's up, dude? How you doing?" And I just loved that they did this like full ass cleansing on the full moon. And after this 3rd meditation, it was like, okay, much more clear, and things had become much more concrete. And he ended up talking to me more about why he's my guardian angel, and like a little bit more about what that means for me and like my path ahead. And it's been incredibly helpful. Something that I have done in response is actually build a meditative space, or like I don't want to call it an altar because it well, I guess it is. Honestly, once you get to this point, it's a little hard to find shit. Like, what isn't an altar technically? Big brain shit, but let's dial that down. I've built like an altar space for the guardian angel and for my guardian angel, and I've been getting them candles and other offerings and stuff. but it's different. It's different than like giving a spirit, a deity, a bigger like guide spirit offerings, because these ones aren't so much like, I guess it is an energy exchange, but it's not so much focused on the exchange as it is like what goes on the guardian angel altar is as equally for that guardian angel as it is for me. And at a certain point, he like conflated the idea with higher self with guardian angel as like, and then also like becoming an ancestor was like, and so like that's a whole thing to dive in through, and I don't even know how to begin to swim in it, but we'll figure it out when I dip my toes in, I guess. Wow, I really carried that metaphor harder than I thought I would. Como Jesus, happy Holy Week. And that's really all I have for like my guardian angel meditation experience. I have done many others. I have done just about, I think I've done, let me not lie or try to exaggerate here. I think I've done 4 or 5 of their spiritual maintenance meditations. Those are always wild. I've also been doing their cleansing workshop meditation, which I'll actually get ready to go do after I finish filming this video. That was literally my plan the whole time, was to come here, write this love letter to Kaitlyn, share my experience, and then go and do their workshop, because today is the last day to do it, and you can bet your ass I'm gonna get that. If you are interested in these meditations or anything else that Kaitlyn or Hija Del Sol offers, I highly recommend you join their Patreon page, and I believe most, if not all of these are up there. I highly recommend it, because like the guardian angel meditation only got more powerful the more I revisited it. The spiritual maintenance workshop or meditations only get stronger the more you do them. I highly encourage you. Like, I feel like I don't recommend a lot of Patreons or a lot of anything, so take that shit and run with it. Best guided meditations I've ever done. Period, point blank. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking around. I know this was kind of a long chit chat, but I wanted to share my experiences for so long, and this was like one of the many meditations I decided to share. I highly recommend Kaitlyn and absolutely everything they do, so please go support them. Their links are down below. If you are interested in getting a reading, a custom consultation, a custom package, oil blends, or anything else from me, feel free to check out my links in the description as well, or go to upliftherbs.com to book and purchase. Thank you so much. It is peace I offer you, and it is in peace I leave you. Have a wonderful day.